Hey, fifth grade friends over at Ayden Elementary. Do you recognize me from your early morning routine before you head off to school every day? I'm WNCT's Storm Team 9 meteorologist, Alex Wassilenko. I'm very excited to give you all a virtual tour of the Storm Team 9 Weather Center today, but I am also very thrilled to share with you some behind-the-scenes forecast tips and tricks that I've learned over the years that may help you all understand the weather a little bit better. Our first stop brings us to the Storm Team 9 Weather Center, where we have many computers to work from. Not to mention, it's a pretty flashy and stormy scene, if you will, right along the line of computers. The banner in the background depicts our branding and our logo, Storm Team 9. That's what you see every day, beginning around 4:30 in the morning with Morning Edition. I begin my morning around 3 a.m. every day by sitting down at the computers farthest in the back. That computer is where I forecast for the hours, days, and week ahead by looking at computer model data and also at what is currently going on. Both of those elements of the forecast, usually displayed on this computer screen here, help me forecast for the day, of course, and predict what may occur in the day, in the coming days, or even over a week's time. It's important to know that computer models are smart, but they may not be as smart as you think. Model data can really only help us forecast with extreme accuracy about 3 to 4 days out. Thereafter, everything gets a little messy and a bit fuzzy. The last item in this photo I wanted to share with you is the microphone. The microphone allows me to record 10 to 12 radio weather forecasts per day for local radio stations across eastern North Carolina. Those are recorded every morning and every afternoon. From radio, I then move on to writing up a weather forecast for our website, while also adding in graphics from our weather computers. And that brings us to our next computer along that long line of computers in the Storm Team 9 Weather Center. We have two main weather computers where our team of meteorologists can sprawl on out and work on forecasting, creating graphics, posting to social media, and much, much more. The computer I use every morning includes a huge television screen above it. This is one of our weather computers displaying weather graphics for the day. This is the computer that I use with that large television screen above it. It allows me to see the graphics in real time on a bigger monitor so that I know what they look like and that they're TV ready for Morning Edition, which again, begins at 4:30 in the morning. After all the forecasting, graphics, and website are updated, I move on to working live from television from 4:30 to 7 in the morning. I use a green screen as a background because it allows me and the cameras to project whichever graphic I would like to talk about with any issues or interference. In fact, I'm standing in front of the green screen right now. You can't tell what it looks like, so I've taken a photo of it for you. You can see the green screen first and foremost, front and center, with the lights surrounding it. Also, there are very important pieces of equipment that come with working in front of the green screen. Of course, one of which is the microphone that I'm wearing. There are also two TV screens on either side of that big wall of green. Those TV screens allow me to turn, just as I'm doing now, and look at myself so I can see what I'm pointing at exactly. Last but not least, I am wearing an earpiece, which also allows me to talk to my directors in the back and also allows me to hear my time cues for the forecast that I'm giving on any given day. The last thing that I want you to know about this very unique job as a forecaster and a meteorologist is that I can't wear green. Oftentimes, you'll never see me wearing green unless I'm working from home during our current pandemic. I'm unable to wear green because I'll end up blending right in with the green screen itself. It is important to know the tricks and trades of the forecast world, not just what goes on in front of the green screen, but also what goes on within those computers and also putting together that daily forecast. We'll talk about that in just a bit as we head on over to the Forecast Center and detail for you what to expect during every season and also what every season comes with in terms of features, temperatures, and also precipitation. As a forecaster and meteorologist, there are some main weather ingredients that we look to every single day to put together the most accurate of forecasts. Those main weather ingredients can be outlined as the acronym SLIM. SLIM stands for shear, lift, instability, and moisture. Shear simply are upper level winds that help to stir up the atmosphere and oftentimes help to create showers and storms. Lift occurs when warm air starts to rise in the atmosphere. That eventually leads to instability and unstable air, which oftentimes can produce any sort of precipitation. The precipitation, though, it has to form in the presence of moisture. If there is no moisture in the atmosphere, storms, they will not be able to fuel on up. So the acronym SLIM, very important as we talk about the world of meteorology and also how to understand exactly what is going on during each and every season. As we talk about precipitation, we bring you to our first season. That is spring. Spring, oftentimes a very active season. Spring usually brings with it warm and humid air and also many cold fronts. The clashing of the warm and humid air along with those cold fronts can oftentimes produce strong to severe thunderstorms and also isolated tornadoes. Southerly winds, they create the lift in the atmosphere, and the cold front and the warm and humid air, that creates the shear, the moisture, and also the instability in the forecast to produce that active weather. We usually, during the spring months, get blow after blow of strong to severe storms. It comes as cold front after cold front works through eastern North Carolina with small breaks of sunshine and drier weather in between so the atmosphere can stabilize, only to refuel itself for some more showers and storms as the next cold front arrives. From spring, we move on over to summer. Summer, a unique month as we talk about high pressure and low pressure. High pressure usually has circulation around the system in a clockwise fashion. That is denoted with a big H on weather maps, and you can think of the big H as meaning happy. High pressure usually provides happy weather such as sunshine, comfortable temperatures, and also the precipitationless atmosphere overhead. High pressure systems lack rainfall, and oftentimes they can spin up lots of heat and humidity during the summer months. High pressure, typically positioned down to our south during the summer months, can spin up some Gulf of Mexico moisture, which is very warm, and on the wings of those southerly winds, it can send it our way, creating some air you can wear, if you will, on most days. An uncomfortable atmosphere, very sticky and very soupy outside is oftentimes how we find our summer months to be. Once that heat, humidity, sunshine, and also drier weather continues to push east out into the Atlantic, it sends even more heat and humidity our way, and all that's left to do for a cold front is to move on in and clash with that heat and humidity to create some summertime thunderstorms and summertime downpours. Not to mention, sometimes when cold fronts move into eastern North Carolina, we can get areas of low pressure to form along it, and it can create tropical characteristics working up the eastern seaboard as a tropical storm or hurricane. The summer months often, of course, include hurricane season, which runs from June 1st all the way to November 30th. Speaking of fall in the November month, we are talking about the fall weather pattern next, which oftentimes includes cloudy skies, showers, and cool conditions. We usually get weaker weather systems during the fall months, and it's usually due in part to the temperatures starting to cool on down. The temperature differences and pressure differences, that's what's creating weather during the fall months, especially as we go through September, October, November, and even early December. We also wait on the arrival of many cold fronts during the fall months. Those cold fronts help to settle cooler air down at the surface, leading us to our coldest season of all, which is, of course, winter. And winter can be a very interesting month as well. Oftentimes high pressure is located just off to our north and west during the winter months, not down to the south as it is during the summer months. The positioning of that high pressure system, very important. Remember, it has clockwise circulation around it. So with it being off to our north, that clockwise circulation helps to send in northerly winds our way, resulting in a colder air mass during those summer months. And winter typically is our driest season of all. That just hasn't been the case this season, though. Now that we are only in the early parts of winter, we've seen soggy conditions, stormy conditions, and also some pretty mild temperatures, relatively speaking. But anytime a cold front works into eastern North Carolina during the winter months, it usually has a chance to form some isolated to scattered showers. the very slight possibility of thunderstorms, but more importantly, it helps to deposit some colder air into the forecast too. Colder air is what areas of low pressure look for as they slide up the eastern seaboard, sometimes becoming a coastal low pressure center. And the circulation around low pressure, that's just as important as high pressure because the circulation around low pressure is counterclockwise. And anytime during the winter months when we have a cold air mass already sitting overhead and an area of low pressure moving up the eastern seaboard, that counterclockwise rotation can then bring in some northerly winds and in turn some colder air. And if the moisture with that area of low pressure along with the colder air meshes just at the right time, you oftentimes can get a snowy scene across eastern North Carolina, along with those colder temperatures. The data that gets collected through all 4 seasons, such as precipitation totals, high temperatures, and even overnight low temperatures, they all get recorded into record books every single day. Records of weather history date all the way back to the 1800s. They include records of events such as heat waves, hurricanes, wildfires, and of course, severe storms and isolated tornadoes. Climate data helps us to identify trends over a year or years at a time, and that's very important when it comes to predicting current model data and also what is going on in your current forecast. It helps us predict forecasting daily high temperatures and daily low temperatures. We have the ability to go back years at a time and place ourselves on that very day back years in time to see exactly what happened weather-wise. Sometimes current weather patterns line up exactly with how climate weather patterns set up back in the day. So it's important to really look at the climate data as a whole, whether it's over a certain day, week, month, or year at a time. Weather data extremely important when it comes to everyday forecasting too, because it can help identify those warming and cooling trends, or whether the year-to-year data is wetter or drier than it should be. That helps us to know what is going to come in the coming months. And last but not least, the highlights of being a weatherman and meteorologist. It is very important that we're educating folks on exactly what the weather does and what it means to you. It's one of my favorite parts, describing the science of everything weather-related. Describing the science of everything weather-related, it's a lot of hard work, but we get that work done by virtual lessons and also through daily forecasts every single day. Educating folks, again, extremely important. Through educating, we can inform others as well. And by informing others, we're the first ones to let you know exactly what's going on in the weather world so you can make the best decision to help suit your daily routine and needs. Last but not least, community interaction, one of my most favorite parts of being a weatherman, whether it's through showing viewer photos on air or interacting with everybody online through social media such as Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat. You name it, the possibilities are endless nowadays, with technology, of course, being the way that it is. My favorite parts of the job, though, being right here in the Weather Center and delivering all the forecasts to you on a daily basis, just to let you know what's going on in the weather world from your Storm Team 9 Weather Center. And with that, thank you, Ayden Elementary 5th grade class. I'm your Storm Team 9 meteorologist, Alex Wasylenko. Have fun learning and discovering much more about the wild world of weather.